So the American Revolution was this crazy time when America decided to break away from British rule and become its own thing. And it all started with a little thing called taxation without representation. You see, Britain had been taxing the American colonies for years, but they didn't have any elected officials representing them in Parliament. So the colonists were like, hey, that's not fair. No taxation without representation, but Britain was like, nah, we gonna not do whatever we want because we your daddy and you our little colony and we love punishing you. And the colonists were like, oh, really? Well, then fine, we just won't buy your tea anymore. And Britain was like, oh, no, you don't. We need that tea money. It pays for all of our fancy things like our army and our navy and our palaces and our trips to Versailles. And the colonists were like, well, then how about we start our own thing? And Britain was like, oh, no, you don't. You're not allowed to start your own thing. And the colonists were like, oh, really? Well, then we'll just declare independence and fight you. And Britain was like, oh, you wouldn't dare. And the colonists were like, oh, we totally would and we will. And so they did. The American Revolutionary War began with the battles of Lexington and Concord in 1775. And it was on April 19, 1775, that the famous shot heard round the world was fired. And it wasn't like a massive battle. There were only about 70 British soldiers and a couple hundred colonists, but the fighting didn't last long. The British were forced to retreat to Boston, where they were besieged for several months until they finally escaped. After that, the war kind of went back and forth with the colonists, winning some battles and losing others. But eventually, with the help of some European allies, they were able to defeat the British and win their independence. The war ended in 1783 with the Treaty of Paris, and one of the most important things to come out of the American Revolution was the idea of republicanism. Republicanism is a form of government in which the country is run by elected representatives who are supposed to serve the interests of the people. The American Revolution was the first successful attempt to establish a republic in the Western Hemisphere and inspired other people around the world to do the same thing. But not everyone was happy with the outcome of the war. Many of the Native Americans and African Americans who had fought with the British were left out of the new nation. They were promised land and freedom, but they never got it. But that's a story for another time. If you want to learn more about the American Revolution, stay tuned for more information.